Welcome back to another Minnesota ice fishing video. We're back on Lake Minnetonka today, one of the most pressured lakes in this part of Minnesota. I mean, it gets hit hard. On this small bay we're in right now, there's probably 20 pickup trucks and 100 tents set up. But we're gonna go to the other side of the bay where there's literally nobody. There's two reasons I like to stay away from the crowd. One being, less people, more fish. Two being, I have a camera and I'm talking out loud and I don't wanna bother anybody. But no matter what, we're gonna hopefully catch some more fish away from the crowd, which means we're gonna have to be doing a little bit of walking, but hopefully that little bit of walking is gonna produce some nice fish. This bay we're in is known to have those 16 to 18 inch crappie, and even bigger. From what I've heard, there is some absolutely massive crappie in here. Me personally, I've caught some 14 to 15 inches. It's also got a lot of smaller fish that are usually super aggressive, so I know no matter what, we're gonna catch some fish tonight. I'm gonna switch baits a little bit, switch depths, and kind of see what these fish want. As always, we got a Livescope, so we're gonna use forward view to try to find some schools of fish tonight. It's 10:30 at night right now. I like to do a lot of night fishing here, mainly because there's less pressure than during the day, but there's always people out here. I mean, it just gets hit super hard, and when everyone's driving around, these fish are just getting pushed out of the bay. So we're gonna have to find them tonight for sure, but I know without a doubt, we are gonna catch fish. Stay tuned for some tips and tricks throughout the video. As always, new videos every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Minnesota Ice Fishing. Let's get started. All right, let's drill down and let's try to find a school of fish here. Wow, we got a lot more ice than I thought. Let's grab forward view here. Let's see if there's any nearby schools. 15 feet of water. We got a fish right under us. All right, before we even hit that school, we got a fish right under us. Let's see if we can get this guy to eat. All right, before we even find some bigger schools of fish, or even any schools of fish, I'm gonna drop down and I'm gonna see if I can get one of these guys to eat here. Looks like we got some right under us. First spot, and there's already some fish. That is a really good sign. Let's see if these guys want to bite here. See if we can move any of them, any aggressive fish. There does look like there's a suspended one above us. Is this guy gonna come up? Let's see. All right, well, this is the first fish I've moved so far. He's actually coming up here. He might smack it. A lot of these fish are super finicky, which isn't that surprising when there's 100 other people in this little bay. But I'm getting this guy to move, so that's a really good sign. We're gonna see if he wants to eat. No, he's gonna go right back down. Yeah, these fish are getting hit so hard. They're not as willing to eat, which isn't too surprising. So many people out here. It's just how it is. We're gonna see though, maybe there's some higher suspended fish up here. Anything higher suspended? I like to work the water column. Sometimes you're not seeing fish that are up a little bit higher on the graph. So work a little bit of the water. Maybe there's something 10 feet away I'm not seeing right now that's sitting a couple feet under the ice. No, nothing. All right, we're gonna give it 5 more minutes here, and then we're gonna use forward view to try to find some more schools. Oh, here one comes. Little guy's making his way up right now. He's coming up, he's coming up. Let's see if he smacks it. No. Look at that, turned right away. Came up, looked at it, and just dipped. All right, these fish are a lot more finicky than I thought. I don't think that's gonna be that big of an issue. All I'm gonna have to do is work for them just a little bit harder. This bay gets hit insanely hard. I mean, you can hear, if I be quiet, if you guys can hear that, there's probably 4 snowmobiles 500 yards in front of me right now, just zooming around. There's probably 15 trucks in this little bay with probably over 100 people set up with tents in a very small bay. This bay gets hit insanely hard, which means I'm gonna have to work for them a little bit harder. I'm gonna have to hole hop a lot, drill a hole, drop down, catch a few, move on to the next hole, which with the help of Livescope, it's gonna make it a lot easier. We're gonna be doing a lot of moving today, so I'm hoping we can get into some nicer fish. I know this bay's got some 16 to 17 inch plus crappie, and it's got a lot of schools of big crappie. But with this many people out, it's gonna be a little bit harder, but that's not gonna stop us from catching some fish. We're just gonna have to work for them a little bit. Everybody's all in one little area, which has a lot of fish, yes, but they're all set up and nobody's moving, which means I'm portable, I'm ready to move. I might move a little bit west of the bay where there's not so many people and see if my luck's good. I'm gonna drop down forward view, see if there's any nearby schools. Otherwise, we're just gonna start moving around until we can find some fish. Let's get it down, let's see if we can get anything. The bait we're using today is the Acme Rattlemaster spoon. The color's Glow Bloody Bug. It's the same one I use in pretty much every video. It's my go-to bait for catching crappie. 1/8 ounce spoon, and it is perfect for getting these fish to bite. Okay, let's see what forward view has to say here. We're gonna give it a few seconds here to transition. Let's see. All right, so few fish that direction. That's where everyone is though. Yep, of course there's fish that way. A ton of people on that area. Now let's turn this direction where there is nobody. Looks like quite a few fish that direction actually. You know what? Why don't we hit that 50 feet straight that way? Let's make sure I get it perfect here. All right, 50 feet that direction should put me right on the fish. Let's get over there, guys, and let's go catch them. All right, that should put me about right here. I got the Livescope part figured out, but when it comes to like 50 feet this way, 70 feet that way, sometimes I go like 150 feet without realizing, so should be about 50 feet. Next time, I'm gonna bring a long tape measure just to be sure. Otherwise, I do the old 1, 2. That's kind of what I should be doing here because we're probably 70 feet and I don't even realize it. All right, let's drill. Let's see if there's anything here. All right, let's get this all situated here. All right, we got a few fish under us. It is worth a try to drop down and see what's going on down here under the ice because I am curious. Let's move you a little bit there. All right. Let's figure out what's going on down here. Drop all the way down. All right. Let's see if anything comes up off the bottom here real quick. This one on my right's moving actually. He's moving a little bit here. Let's see if he wants to come up and eat. They're moving slow, but they're still moving. So we're gonna see if, oh, here we go, here we go. He's coming up to it, he's coming up to it. I like that. See if he wants it. I'm dead sticking my bait here. Letting the bait swim freely, and we got him. There we go. Man, you are not the size that I'm after, buddy, but you're a start to the day. And that is for sure. All right, first aggressive enough fish to eat. Not a mondo, probably about an 8-incher, but you know what? He ate while the others didn't, and that's all that matters. I mean, that was a little mark too. Some of these other marks have got to be 10 to 12 inch plus crappie. Don't get me wrong now, she is an absolute beauty, but I'm looking for something just a little bit bigger. She's gonna go right back in the water. And yeah, we still got a lot of fish down here. We might give it 5 more minutes and then we're gonna go move. I'm gonna give it a try here, see if we can pull off another one and try to maybe find some bigger schools of fish or maybe just some bigger ones. All right, so let's get you dropped right back down in the water. Now let's see if we can get another one to bite here. Let's see if any of these guys come up here. Show even a little bit of aggression. Oh yeah, that is just such a small mark though. Unless I'm not getting the whole angle of it here. This looks like a pretty small fish. What is going on in the bottom? You know what? I don't care for these guys. What is going on in the bottom here? Fish are getting pushed around, and I do like that. At least we got some moving fish down here. We're gonna see if any of them are aggressive enough to eat. Move around a little bit, give it some action. And once they get close, as always, I jig them to get them up, and once they get close, a dead stick. I let my crappie minnow I got on just do all the action for me. Start fluttering around and give that spoon all the action it needs. That free moving action's all I need. Put it close to the bottom here. See if there's any crappie hugging bottom maybe. Man, it's like 15 degrees right now. Not the most optimal conditions to be out here. But we got some moving fish. They are a little bit slow here. Not too surprising, but we're getting some to move. So we're gonna see here. I'm seeing some fish hugging bottom down there. See if they want to come off here. All these suspended fish, gone. So that is interesting. I'm gonna go on a limited guess. It's because a truck just drove right past me. This guy's off the bottom right now. He just came up. We're gonna see if he's gonna fully commit and eat. I'm getting him off the bottom. I'm gonna bring it up a little bit, see if he'll chase. He's making his way up. Slowly but surely, he is making his way up. Yeah, okay. Let's get this thing out of the water here and let's go find some other fish we can target. These guys are just not aggressive. All right. So we're gonna throw her in forward view here. We're gonna try to find a little bit more aggressive fish that might be more keen to eat, hopefully. I like that right there. That is a lot of fish. Where's that at? Let's go 30 feet more this direction. Let's go drop right on top of that school of fish. I mean, that's a good looking school there. Let's go get them. There's like 20 inches of clear ice here. The spot I was fishing at earlier tonight when I was filming a walleye video had like 8 inches of clear ice. So I don't know what makes this spot freeze so fast, but you know what? I drove my truck on the ice for a reason. I'm glad to know it's got some thick ice. Let's get dropped down here. First, I'm gonna throw this guy in reverse. Who needs an ice scoop when you can just throw your auger in reverse? It does the exact same thing, faster and better. All right. Okay, and all right, so I'm sure the fish were right here, but of course, you know, when you drill right on top of them, the suspended fish are gonna get spooked. So the fish on the bottom are gonna stick, but these suspended fish are probably spooked. So I'm gonna give it 5 minutes, let everything calm down, and then I'm gonna drop back down, because no reason to drop down now when a lot of these fish are all spooked, especially the suspended ones. But if I let it rest for 5 minutes, the fish should come back. If you look at the bottom though, there is a lot of fish on the bottom here, which is awesome. I'm sure those fish were suspended as well and either went down to the bottom or ski-daddled. But for now, we're just gonna kind of wait out a little bit, and yeah, there are a lot of vehicles on the ice today. No wonder these fish are getting spooked so easily. I mean, I'm looking at a truck 100 feet in front of me driving right past. So I'm sure that has a huge effect on the fish today, but I'm already noticing some fish are coming back. So let's get dropped back down, guys. All right, let's add a little crappie minnow to our presentation here. Everyone thinks, you know, you got finicky fish, throw something really, really small. Well, yeah, that works some at the time. I'm the kind of guy who likes to throw something big when you got finicky fish. Put this guy on here and we're gonna drop right down. Yep, these suspended fish are starting to come back here, which is a really good sign. I do like that. Let's drop down in here, guys. Get right on top of these fish. I mean, they're about 5 to 7 feet under the ice right now. So when you're in 20 feet of water, these guys are suspended. Let's see if any of these suspended fish want to eat. I don't want to spend too much time at them, but there are just a few of them, so they might eat. We're gonna see here. Looks like we got some bigger fish coming in here from the right. Yeah, I just spooked that guy. I'm dropping right past him. That's a nice fish to our right, guys. Look at that. That fish coming in from the right is a unit. Absolute slab if that's a big crappie. I'm hoping that's a 10+ incher. Yeah, good looking fish here. I'm gonna drop down a little bit, jig it around, and see if anything wants to come up and eat here. Oh, I got a fish that's willing to move right here. Here he comes. He's making his way up here. Yep, he's gonna smack it. He's right on it. Come on, get it. He hit it. Let's see if he wants to hit it again. Little fish though. This fish on the right that's coming through looks a little bit nicer. I got the fish to come up. He took a look at it, gave it a little tap. We're gonna see if he'll turn back around here. Oh, this guy's coming up right here. Yep, here he comes, here he comes. Got him. As soon as I drop down, another little guy, but I will take it. I mean, she's just a little baby, but an aggressive fish again. There are some nicer ones down there, looks like. I mean, if this mark was the size of this fish, some of these bigger ones could be some nicer fish. These guys are definitely more aggressive though, these suspended fish. All right, drop down, and she ate it right away. That is awesome. Just a little guy here. She's going right back in the water. Seems a little smaller than that last one. You can hear the people on their sleds right there. I mean, there's just so many people out here. I'm just slowly making my way to the other side of this lake, or other side of this bay, I should say, where there's a lot less people, because I think that's gonna be where I'm gonna get into some nicer fish here. I mean, if you guys can look at the graph right now, we have got a ton of fish down here, and they're just not willing to eat. I mean, there's 2 snowmobiles coming right my way right now, and that is a very big factor in why these fish aren't eating, the amount of people driving by. So we just gotta get away from the crowd, get away from the people, and hopefully get away from this snowmobile trail. So yeah, there's a lot of people out here. I think my best bet is to not target the mass amounts of fish, but to instead try to target the solos, because I mean, I put myself on fish. I wanted to find a lot of fish, and I mean, looking at that graph, we found a lot of fish, but not all of those guys want to bite. So what about, instead of targeting these huge schools of fish, why don't we target some smaller groups? not so many fish. Maybe these solos are more willing to eat because they're not with a group. We're gonna give that a try once. See if that's the case. I mean, we found a nice school of fish there. I mean, there's another nice school of fish straight that direction. Okay, wow, look at all these fish here. Holy cow. Those are some nicer ones. I mean, we got some nice schools of fish going on right now. Look at those. There's someone that direction. I don't want to go that way. I don't want to bother those people by setting up my camera gear closer to them. So we're going to go the other direction here. So we got some fish this way. We got some solos. 50 feet that direction. We got some solos. Let's go hit them. I would go the other direction where there looks like some nice fish, but there's a group of people set up over there. I don't want to set up my light and camera near them, and I don't want to bother them. They're out fishing, no reason for me to bother them. We are going to go that direction though, and we're going to try to get on some fish that way. Let's get her done. Where is my other glove? I can't find my other glove. Wow, that's awesome. I love it so much. So happy. Oh yay. This should be like right on top of the fish that I was marking, but I'm hoping they don't get too spooked that I just drilled right on top of them. That's what I'd be worried about. It's kind of actually what I'm expecting right now. Once this thing goes to down view here. Okay, let's drop down here. I mean, I was marking a really nice fish. But, all right, we're gonna see if any of these guys are a little bit more aggressive. They're solos. There's not a lot of fish here, but the only ones that are here seem to be pretty solo, so we're gonna see if that's any better. I wanted to try this once. Not as big school of fish, it's just solos. See if this does me any good. I got that mark 10 feet to my left, suspended up 10 feet too. I like that. We got a nice steady 15 to 16 degrees throughout the night, so not much temperature change. So no barometric pressure difference or anything. So it's all gonna be pretty steady. Nothing, no snow, no nothing. Steady weather throughout the night tonight. I mean, these next 2 days are gonna be the same temperature as it is today. So it's gonna be a bit breezy, a little cold, but the temperature is gonna be steady. So no weather affecting the fishing tonight, that's for sure. Only difference is it's pretty foggy out tonight. Very, very foggy, low visibility. But that's not gonna do me really any difference out here when I'm ice fishing. Wow, yeah, it's a little bit slower right now than I was kind of expecting. See if any of these fish are eager to move. Usually the fish that are willing to eat aren't the ones you're seeing in your graph. These fish will come out of nowhere, super aggressive, and come in and eat it. So you won't mark them, they'll just be there and they're gonna eat. But I'd like to get some of these marks to eat though, the ones that are already here. Oh, this guy might be moving a little bit here. He's slowly making his way up to me. Looks like a pretty small fish. I mean, nothing worth talking about here, but if he gets to eat, he gets to eat. Let's see if he wants to come up here. He's making his way up. I'm gonna kind of just slow down my presentation. I noticed it's kind of spooking him off a little bit. Yeah, it did. Interesting. Yeah, these fish are acting a lot different than they usually do. Usually they're really aggressive. So the only difference I can think of is not even the amount of people out here, it's that there's vehicles out here now. So there's usually been a lot of people out here, but everyone's walked. Now that there's vehicles out here, people driving, moving around more, it's definitely spooking the fish and pushing them out of this bay. So if I can figure out where they went, it is gonna be awesome because nobody's in this other part of the bay. So if they move down there with less commotion, it'd be good to see some a little bit more aggressive fish because these guys are just not what I'm looking for. I mean, I can move it around and see there's some fish. I mean, yeah, down there. There's definitely fish here. A lot less fish than there was before at that other spot, but I was hoping these smaller groups and schools of fish would be a little bit more aggressive, or even just some bigger fish. These smaller schools and smaller groupings of fish are no more and no less aggressive than the last spot we were at. Bigger schools and smaller schools aren't going to do me much difference. I was hoping they'd either be bigger or a little bit more aggressive, and they are neither. We do got one coming up right now. I'm going to kind of slowly bring him up and then dead stick it. It's a pretty small fish, but he might look at it and do one of two things. Look at it and eat, or look at it and back off really, really fast here. We're going to see. It's a pretty small fish. Might give it a little tap here. He's spending some time looking at it. I do like that. He's on it right now. I can feel him. No. I felt him give it a little tap, but it wasn't enough for a hook set. I wasn't gonna hook set him and spook him when I can, with risk of having him leave, because usually they'll give it a little tap, and if I don't give it a hook set, they might come back. I've had that happen quite often. Otherwise, we got a fish coming in from the left here. Usually this guy will come back, but surprised he didn't. We got one coming in from the left. Maybe a little bit of a bigger mark. It's hard to tell right now with the direction we have it at. Let's see here. Either of these two are gonna eat here. The one from the bottom right might be coming back up. Otherwise, this one on the left might decide to eat, and we're gonna find out here. One of these two might be eating right now. Pretty small marks. I was hoping the smaller school of fish would be bigger, or at least a little bit more aggressive with less fish. But less competition, less aggression, no difference at all. Anything? He's making his way in here. I can barely see him. There he is. I'm gonna pull him up a little bit, see if he'll chase it. Yeah, he's slowly following it. He's just not aggressive. He's not really what I'm after. Do I want to toy around with these little fish that aren't gonna eat, or do I want to go maybe chase some bigger, more aggressive fish here? We'll see if one of these guys want to eat. We'll give them a few minutes and we're gonna move on. Maybe walk quite a ways away here and see if there's any difference. I don't know, quarter of a mile that direction. I like to look at that mark on the bottom right now. Looks like there could be a semi-decent fish here on the bottom. Just, I don't think these fish are aggressive one bit. They're willing to come up and look at it, but not all of them are willing to eat. This one on the bottom might be a semi-decent fish here. If that's not two fish, that is. If that's just one fish, could be a decent fish. That is if we can get him to eat. Yeah, it's not a half bad mark. Can't even feel my fingers right now. It's hard to even scroll. I want to look at the temperature. We have got a nice warm 12 degrees. Awesome, gotta love it. Some nice warm Minnesota weather. All right. 2 more minutes, we're going to the next spot. I thought these smaller schools would be more productive here, a little bit more beneficial, but no, they're definitely not. That's for sure. We got a fish coming in from the right here, see if he's any bit aggressive. And if we don't get anything in a few minutes, we're gonna move probably a quarter of a mile down lake and see if there's any bit more aggressive fish, bigger schools of fish, smaller schools with bigger fish, just any different than where I'm at right now would be amazing. Because we're having fish that are biting, but they're just not exactly what I'm looking for. So I think, yeah, we're gonna go down lake here, go west of where we're at right now, and we're gonna go see if the fishing is any bit different down there. Any difference is all I'm looking for. If that's bigger schools of fish, smaller schools of bigger fish, smaller schools of more aggressive fish, anything at all that's a difference like that. We're gonna see if it occurs down there. Let's make our way down there, guys, and hopefully catch some more fish, or maybe just some bigger fish down there. It's been a pretty slow night so far. All right, let's get dropped down right here. We are a little bit farther away. Make sure my bait's good here. We moved down quite a bit, so we're gonna see if that makes much of a difference. I gave it about 15 minutes to let this place kind of settle down after I drilled the hole. So we should be good now. Any fish that was gone hopefully is back. Doesn't look like a very big school of fish, but there's definitely some fish here. We're gonna see if they're any bit aggressive. Looks like we got some moving fish under us. Oh yeah. Oh. They just dipped right away. Came up and dipped. This guy's making his way up. I do like this. Finally a fish that's actually at least a little bit aggressive. Maybe moving to this side of the lake was the way to go. I mean, at least I'm seeing some fish that are moving here. They're not all just sticking still. We got a few moving fish here. Let's see if any of these guys are gonna commit here. Anything else I can't see right now? Like those guys. Oh, we got one coming off the bottom. Oh yeah, here we go. This is a pretty aggressive fish. Oh yeah, here we go. He's gonna smack it. He's on it. He is on it. making his way up here. My bait should be swimming freely, and he tapped it but didn't eat it. We're gonna see if he turns back around here. Gave it a little tap, moved my bait, got my bait nervous, but didn't fully commit there. He should be swinging back around, hopefully, and coming right back up. Yep, there we go. He's gonna smack it. Second time's a charm. And it is the charm. All right, you are, we're doing what we don't want to be doing right now. We're downsizing. I'm trying to upsize. I do appreciate you for being a part of today's video, buddy, but where's your great grandma when I need them? You are not the size that I'm looking for. I was hoping that this other side of the lake would have, well, you know what? It had some aggressive fish. I wanted aggressive fish. I did find some aggressive fish. I mean, let's block my face here. There we go. We got a fish here. I mean, there's nothing wrong with a nice aggressive fish. On the screen there, we got a nice looking mark here. I mean, it's a little colder now. I think it's about 9 degrees. So I don't think the weather is affecting them too much. I was thinking the weather tonight would be pretty steady, but it seems to be a little bit of a decline here in temperature. I got no problem as long as there's no wind, so I'm fine staying out here for quite a little bit, just depending on if these fish want to bite or not. Today was the first day of college, so I'm hoping to maybe get home fairly early and get done with some homework that I was supposed to do this morning. But for now, I mean, I'm having fun catching fish. They're coming up off the bottom and they're smacking the bait, and that's exactly what we're looking for here today, guys. Not a big school of fish, but it does have some aggressive fish, and I'm hoping to maybe get some bigger ones. I mean, these fish are so tiny. They're aggressive, but they're tiny. I'm hoping some of these bigger fish, these more suspended fish, that is, are gonna eat. I keep looking back here, seeing if I see anything else. Well, we're marking fish. They're not gonna always want to eat. That's just the case for today, guys. We have nobody else out on this side of the bay, so I'm gonna keep working around this bay here. I think there is a basin somewhere back there that goes from 20 feet to like 10 or something like that. I'd have to look on Navionics and see what we got here, but we got aggressive fish. We got some fish that I really want to eat, and that means we're gonna have a good rest of the video here, guys. Hope you guys are enjoying it so far. We're gonna keep moving around, and we're gonna try to find some more fish here, throw it in forward view, see if there's any other schools, and drop right on them. All right, let's get her dropped down. I see some nice looking marks down here. At least maybe some little bit bigger fish. I'm stuck on the ice. There we go. Drop all the way down to these fish here. We're only in 15 feet of water. We're not super. Is that a fish suspended a foot under the ice? Do I still got my bait on? Yeah, I do. There must be a fish suspended. All right, I'm not even gonna worry about those guys. I wanna see if any of these guys on the bottom wanna eat. Looks like a nicer fish right here. Nothing crazy nice, but maybe something a little bit aggressive, hopefully here. See if he comes up. He looks like he's actually moving a little bit here. Oh yeah, he is. Awesome, yeah, maybe this side of the lake was definitely the way to go. Let's see if he wants to eat it. I'm just gonna dead stick it, see if he grabs it. He's a little finicky. Oh man, I was hoping he'd just smack it. What I would really like right now is to see a nice mark just shoot up off the bottom and come eat. I've had it happen so many times here with nicer fish. I mean, you're not marking them, they're just sitting, hugging bottom, and all of a sudden they just shoot up off the bottom and eat. Oh man, I keep putting my hands in the bait bucket, get my fingers all cold, and cold fingers aren't fun. They freeze really quick. So one thing I don't like is about using live bait is having to get my hands in there to get wet, and all of a sudden, wet in the cold is not a good combo there. All it is gonna freeze your fingers really fast. Yeah, I thought maybe giving it a few minutes here, I might get another one to eat, maybe not though. We might have to move down a little bit, see if we can find another school a little bit farther down here. I am curious. It's starting to get a little bit colder than I'd like. I can handle the cold to an extent, but now it's dropped pretty quick now. I think we've got to be getting close to like 5 degrees since I last checked. We got one coming up off the bottom here like that. Decent mark too. Oh yeah. We're gonna see if he gives it a smack here. He is making his way up. I like this. Here we go. Semi-aggressive fish. He's on it. He is. Oh, really? Came up, looked at it, backed right off. Okay. We got the same fish coming up once more for the 4th time now. He has been coming up constantly, looking at it and not hitting it. We're gonna see if 4th time's the charm here. He is literally on it. And we got him. Man, 4th time's a charm with this guy. He was aggressive enough to eat though, I'll take it. I don't know if we're gonna be getting into that big school today. Hopefully we are, but from the looks of it right now, they're all about that same smaller size here, guys. None of those Mondos, which is quite disappointing, but he's a nice fish. Gotta give him creds here. I mean, she is a beauty. Probably a little under 10 inches. I'd say about 9 inches. But yeah, I mean, we got him to eat though. That's all that matters to me. I came out here hoping to get either some nice big schools of fish or some bigger fish. We found the big schools of fish. They did not have neither aggressive fish nor big fish. But there's some nice schools. Right now I'm targeting the smaller schools of fish, more groups of fish I would say. Not huge schools, but it seems to have more aggressive fish, which makes sense. I mean, these smaller groups of fish, it's easier for 1 or 2 fish to leave the bunch of fish and eat than with the bigger schools. Usually these bigger schools, they kind of bunch together and they do things together. But if you find these smaller groups of fish, at least the spots I fish is what I've noticed is these smaller groups of fish, they'll have those solos in the smaller groups that are willing to leave the group because it's not a huge number. They're willing to leave that group to go out and eat. So sometimes these smaller groups of fish are the way to do it. And I've noticed quite a big difference in the aggression of the fish depending on what size of group they're in. And it seems today, smaller groups of fish are more aggressive. And seems to have some bigger marks. They're just not always wanting to eat. Man, we're just sticking with these 8 to 10 inches. Not even 8 to 10, I'd say 7 to 9 inches. But that's all right. You know what? I've caught some big crappie in the last couple weeks, so we're having aggressive fish and it could be a lot worse. We're gonna keep going, guys. All right, I decided to try a little bit shallower here. See if this makes any difference. We're in 9 feet of water right now. We're super, super shallow. So I'm gonna see if we can get any fish to come in here super shallow. Give it a try for maybe 5 or 10 minutes and then we can move back deep if we need to. I'm gonna move this camera a little bit closer though. I don't need to be this far away. Give you guys a better view here. Let's move a little closer. Should be able to see a little bit better. See if there's any fish here, a little bit shallower, if possible. Oh, looks like we got something here. Little mark, nothing big, but he's coming out of the weeds. There's definitely a lot of fish in the weeds here. I'm thinking I'm gonna move one more time after this. And if it's like this for one more time where these fish are just slow moving, I'm gonna call it a video and try to plan something new for tomorrow maybe. Try a new lake I've never fished before. Get on some new fish, cause it seems they're just not wanting to be aggressive here. So I might have to fish a new lake, maybe target some more walleye here. We got one coming up though. Really little mark. Yeah, small fish anyway. But yeah, I'm thinking tomorrow I might go try a different lake. Maybe head up north, hit Leech Lake, Mille Lacs, something like that. Try to get on a decent bite up there. Otherwise, I might stick around the metro, try some different walleye lakes, see if I can get on a decent walleye bite. I mean, it's so disappointing to see some slow moving fish. It's more disappointing to see fish and know they don't want to bite. We got one coming up right now. It's just a little guy. We're gonna see if he wants to come up and eat. I got a pretty big crappie minnow on. I think that's what's scaring away a lot of these smaller fish like this right here. All right, we're gonna move once more, guys. We are gonna move one more time, drill another hole, and if we don't get anything, we're gonna call it a video. I have moved so many times today, and half of those times, if not more, aren't even gonna be in this video, just because I didn't catch anything. So let's wait till it moves to forward here, and we're gonna see if maybe we can find another school of fish here. Weeds, 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 weeds. No crappie in the weeds either. Well, a few that direction. Not exactly what I'm looking for here. 2 fish straight that way. Definitely no schools around us, that's for sure. All right, we're gonna go 25 feet that direction and we're gonna go sit on top of some fish. All right, this will be the last move if we don't get too many, or if it's just not producing. It's been about 3 hours now, so it's getting colder out here and pretty much everybody else has left, so that's a good sign, but fishing has still been pretty slow. Let's move, guys. I saw a few fish on the bottom here, so we're gonna see same depth, didn't move much deeper, but I was marking some fish. So we'll give it a try here for a little bit. And I always tell myself, you know, last cast, last drop, you know, last spot, but it never is. We'll probably try another spot after this, if this one's not producing. Do we got a fish under us, or do I just got, okay, we got a little bit of interference, but we do got a fish. We can drop this gain down since we're pretty shallow. We're gonna see if this guy's gonna come up and give us a bite today. We do got a fish here, which is a good sign. Looks like we actually got 2 fish. That's one thing I love about seeing 2 fish on the graph. Usually they'll be a little competitive if they're close to each other, and they'll both go up to it and one of them will eat. A little bit of competition can be really, really good to get some fish to eat here. They'll compete against each other, but I don't know if any of these guys are actually gonna be aggressive enough to eat. I'll drop down to them just to see here, but I don't think any of these 3 are gonna eat. Oh, maybe this guy. He's kind of slowly making his way up here. Oh, maybe. It's just a little fish if it's anything worth hitting here. He's making his way up. Here we go. Here we go. He took my bait. Yeah, I felt that little tap and he took my bait. All right, well, we got him to eat. That's a good sign, guys. All right, let's drop right back down here. Yeah, we got him to eat. Just, man, I felt that little tap and lost the crappie minnow. I don't think we placed a hook in him though, so he might still want to eat. I turned that gain up a little bit because why not? We do got some fish down here. I'm just glad that guy actually ate. It's a good sign. I mean, we got one to eat, so we've only been here a few minutes. It's a good sign he ate. We're gonna see if I can pull one up again here. Looks like we got maybe 3 or 4 fish down there right now. Definitely little guys. The fog went away. That was quick. I might have spooked him by setting the hook into one. Yeah, I think I did. We got one bottom right corner coming in here, 2 feet away. These fish are definitely small. I'm not seeing any big marks. I'm gonna turn on this aerator here, give him a little air, and we're gonna throw her in forward view. See if we can find some crappie. Pretty close to us right now, guys. Whoops, throw her in forward view here. All right, crappie on bottom, crappie on bottom. Weeds, I like that. A lot of crappie hugging bottom here. Seems quite a few that direction there. Still pretty, let's move it out there and see if anything, any suspended crappie? No, a few suspended crappie there. I'm really liking that right there. Yeah, I like that. That's a good amount of fish right there, actually. 25 to 30 feet that way. We're gonna go that direction, guys. We're gonna go give that a try. Yeah, 25 feet. This is the part I always get confused with. Okay, right there, right there, right there. Boom. Throw her back to down view, so as soon as we drill a hole, we'll be ready to go. Okay. Now we just gotta make sure we go 25 feet and not like 100 feet. Oh, wow. Yeah, right here is definitely all just wet slush. How far, how deep is this? Did I just go through? Did I just go through? There's either a hole right there, I just went through. Interesting. There's either a hole here or I just went through. I don't know which one it is, but that's not good. There's no way I just happened to There is a hole in the ice right here, but it's not from an auger. I gotta be careful here. I don't know how thick this is. I mean, it's kind of circle-ish. Maybe somebody drilled. You see, but it doesn't go all the way through, but there's gotta be something here creating that. It doesn't go straight through, but it's pretty deep. Now it goes through. Yeah, there's a hole right here. How big is this? Oh wow, that's big. Yeah, that's a big hole. Might as well take advantage of it and drop down. But I just got to be careful because I don't know how many of those there are. Yeah, we got some fish here. I've just kind of got to be careful here then. All right. Because there was already a hole. It wasn't all the way through, but I mean, it was pretty much almost there. We're gonna see if any of these guys want to come up here. We're in 10 feet of water. There was some fish here, but as soon as I used my auger, I'm sure they skedaddled out of here. We'll give it a little bit though. I don't even feel my bait on. Nope. I could just tell there was no bait on. We're gonna give it, I don't know, we'll give it 10 minutes here. And if we don't pull a fish up in 10 minutes, we're gonna call it a video, guys. Cause it's been hours of just nothing. So definitely not how it usually is at this spot. But now that people can drive out, it's not that surprising to me. All right, 10 minutes, guys. Let's see what we can do in 10 minutes. I'm hoping we can pull a nice fish out here. Less pressure on this side, could be some nicer fish. Looks like we got something there to the left. Maybe he wants to move here. We'll see. Something right under me as well. Oh yeah, I like that. I mean, we got some fish that are willing to move right away. That's awesome. Decent looking marks too. We'll see what happens, guys. All right, fish, quite a few fish down here hugging bottom. We'll see if any of them are willing to eat here. They're definitely making their way through. This one bottom right corner looks like a decent fish. Oh yeah, look at that guy. That's not a bad fish whatsoever. Is he gonna come up and eat? We got some decent fish here. We might have found a school of nicer fish. We'll see. That one to the left there, that looks nice too. We'll see if they want to eat though. Doesn't matter how nice the fish are, they're not gonna eat. Come on, get up here. Oh, look at all these guys coming in from the left there. Oh yeah, those are nice fish. That's awesome. We might have found some nicer fish here, guys. Those ones 7 feet to my left are some nicer fish. Oh yeah. Interesting, we might have found some nice crappie here, guys. We'll see, we'll try to pull one up here. Like I said, I mean, it doesn't matter how nice they are if they don't want to bite. All right. I'm not moving any of them. It's getting super late. I still got some homework to do. I'm sorry that it is such a short video with not many fish. This is not usually how my videos turn out, but there's nothing I can do about that. I mean, we're marking some good fish. They're just not wanting to come up and eat. I got another lake I'm gonna try tomorrow, and I'm hoping tomorrow's lake is gonna be a lot more productive. It usually is late season. I mean, we're not really late season. We're mid-season right now. We're gonna have to hit some of my mid-season, late season spots here and see if that's any different. I mean, we're marking fish and I wanted to eat. I got some good middle of the night spots on a few lakes around here. I'm gonna try, probably starting tomorrow and see how they work. Hope you guys did enjoy the video. New videos Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11. And I just hope you guys did enjoy it. I will be posting as much as I can here with the weather recently and all this cold weather, it has been good for ice fishing, but we got 6 inches of slush with 1.5 feet of snow, so it's been a little difficult to get on some of these fish, but that's all right. Hope you guys did enjoy, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out.